Views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast.
Well, greetings and welcome to this week's edition of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast. We've been sitting on this edition for some time now. Back during training camp, I interviewed University of Arkansas Athletics Executive Chef Tim Walsh, Director of Football Nutrition Brooks Gillerlain, and Defensive Tackle / BBQ Pitmaster Cam Ball. We hear from them, but first... Food News. This is a heavy competition edition of Food News. We will kick it off with what happened on Monday night. It was Battle of the Bartenders at Butterscotch Bar in Bentonville. That's a lot of B's. And it's sponsored by Wonderfolk Distillery. There were 6 finalists taking part. Lauren Ganem from the Vault Bar in Fayetteville, Tay Hartwig from Hardwater in Bentonville, who was also joined by his co-worker from Hardwater, Robbie Sillier. Logan Crane from Black Apple Hard Cider in Springdale took part, as did Mikey Chronister, up from Fort Smith, where he works at Prima Italian Restaurant, and Trey Fincher from Sidecar in Fayetteville, who incidentally finished in the top 30 of the 2025 U.S. Bartenders Guild World Class event in Atlanta.
The fan vote I'm going to start with. Lauren absolutely ran away.
Lauren Ganem won the People's Choice Award with her popular Berries, Beets, and Battlestar Galactica drink, which was her take on a health and wellness drink that she aimed to taste like cold-pressed juice, and she succeeded. And the judges pick.
And then our winner, handsome as hell son of a bitch, Tay.
Tay Hartwig of Hardwater made the drink that was exceptionally unique.
Yeah, it was a split base infused with the Lapsang Souchong tea, smoky, had a little bit of coriander in there. The star of the show was really the fermented apple jam. I fermented it for about 10 days, then took it out, blended it with some sugar, reduced it, and then paired that with some sake, some sherry, and a little bit of lime juice. Lime doesn't really matter, it was mainly just the acid. But the thing that really tied it all together, the name of the drink was Red Dirt, and so the Red Dirt was what I garnished it with, which was the hibiscus, MSG, and salt powder that we put on top of the ice. So as that ice melted, as the red dirt eroded, it fell into the cocktail and it turned it from a nice light salmon to brighter pink.
Hey, this one's coming up on Sunday, and if you don't have your tickets yet, I recommend that you get them. It's the Miracle League Burger Competition. The event kicks off at 11:30 in downtown Springdale. I've got a ticket link in the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas bio on Instagram. You can always go and get your tickets there. Last year's winners were the Mellow Moose Burgers food truck team out of Siloam. They went on to place 6th at the World Food Championships. Because of that, they were invited back to Indianapolis in a month or so for this year's finals. They'll be out there Sunday, though, trying to win their ticket for next year. Owner Adrian Lim tells us what you can expect from them.
This year we're going to kind of change it up a little bit, kind of throw a little bit of a chef twist to it, do my own style of idea of what, don't want to give too much away, but yeah, we're going to do something a little different, something that's not on the menu, but definitely reflects who we are and who we were, kind of.
Calling all mac and cheese lovers, which I guess is all of us. Looky here. Mark your calendars for November 9th as Brewski's in Fayetteville will be holding a mac and cheese cook-off. Here's the info. It is $20 to enter and compete. If you want to judge, pay $5. You'll be able to taste them all and vote on your favorite. Half of the money will go to the winner, and the other half will go to the Fayetteville Independent Restaurant Alliance, which is a nonprofit that provides immediate financial relief to hospitality industry professionals in need. It's a beautiful cause. If you want to compete, you can go get signed up at Brewski's. Congrats to Siloam's Creekside Taproom. They celebrated 10 years over the weekend. No small feat, by the way. They held Main Street Oktoberfest with local beer and live music on Saturday as a part of their celebration. Keeping things in Siloam, the Kilroy Public House will be opening Saturday downtown at 111 South Broadway. They will be known for their Irish pub fare, which I have tried, and it's dynamite. Try the shepherd's pie, the bangers and mash, the short rib and mashed potatoes, and much more. And by the way, don't forget the creme brulee cheesecake. Lordy. Again, they are at 111 South Broadway in historic downtown Siloam Springs. Doors open Saturday at 11 a.m. We've got some news about the soon-to-be Viet Buffet in Rogers. They're still awaiting one final approval from the city. They say the city is backed up with businesses reopening from last year's storm. We will let you know when we get an update. If you read your NWA Daily on Monday, then you saw that Dodo Coffee has some big news. They have broken ground on their flagship location just north of Cross Church on West Weddington in Fayetteville. Also, they will have a cafe in Tyson World Headquarters. According to NWA Daily, they beat out 13 competitors for that spot. Ever wondered what it takes to feed a Division I college football team in the SEC? I wondered too. So I reached out to the University of Arkansas football team, and they were gracious enough to set me up with folks who answered that question in full. Also, what's their favorite meal? How hard is it to schedule meals on the road? You'll hear about odd food combinations, food sourcing, and their take on sweets. And finally, team captain Cam Ball talks about his barbecue past and his barbecue future. One note for you, this was recorded during training camp, so you'll notice a few earlier references. All of that is coming up next, right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Welcome back. I have been looking forward to this one. We are at the Jerry and Jean Jones Student Athlete Success Center here on the University of Arkansas campus, and we're with Executive Chef for Athletics, Tim Walsh. Tim, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you today?
Good, man. I appreciate your time. I know we've got the first football game, home football game,
Correct.
Tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And you carved out a little time for me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Shaking and moving.
Very valuable time. Well, let's hop into it. I'm really curious about your professional background. I'm wondering if you ever threw skillets in a kitchen growing up anywhere.
Oh, yeah. So I'm probably in my 30th year.
Oh, wow.
Well, I've been saying 30 for a couple of years now, but 30 years, over 30 years in hospitality business, 16 of those being university dining.
Okay.
The last 10 of those being with college athletics.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
How did you get into it?
It's just something I did. I started washing dishes when I was 13 years old under the table at Elks Lodge, and
Yeah, man.
had some guys that taught me how to cook, and just been doing it ever since. And I looked up one day and I'd been doing it for 20 years. So
Yeah.
it happened pretty quick.
That's it. Sometimes that's what it takes. You get that early interest and off you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, previous to getting into athletic dining, what was it that got you into athletic dining out of a cook in the kitchen, if you will?
So, I had some friends that worked with college dining, and
Gotcha.
They were like, come over, come here. We're we don't work holidays, we don't work weekends, we don't work late nights, and those
Where
are all
do I sign?
Exactly. Those are all the things that we were pretty used to doing.
Yep.
So I started working here on campus as a cook at one of our facilities, and just kind of went from there. I was went to Arkansas Tech for 4 years. I was the campus executive chef there.
Oh, nice.
And then I got a call, and they said, we're opening this new athletic facility. Would you come be our executive chef? So I said, let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big switch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of a change, right?
Well, it's, once you get used to that, the mass feeding, the college dining, it
I get it.
translates pretty well.
So and correct me if I'm wrong, please, I would assume it's like catering every day.
It is. It's a lot like catering. Even in athletics, it's even more so. It's a little less forecastable. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Workouts, schedules, the weather, our team's in town, our team's out of town. So there's a lot of variables.
I was about to say, and I talk to chefs all the time that do catering on the side, and they'll get an event, and they're planning, really even months in advance for like a chef's table dinner or something like that somewhere. How far in advance are you doing that here?
Well, we have really good plans. We make very good plans.
Well, you have to.
And then we remain ready to turn on a dime and go in any other direction than we had originally planned. When you're dealing with teams, all it takes is one event for 30 to 50 people not to show up for a meal.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of cooking to order. We do a lot of trying to minimize waste and focus more on having leftover ingredients rather than leftover food and cooking as fresh as we can.
Yeah. So, and I would assume like the main dish changes quite a bit. And with that being the case, how far out in advance, say just for this week, this regular week of athletics, how far in advance do you order for that week?
We order out as far out as we can.
Okay.
We also don't have a lot of space in this building, so we order 3 trucks a week from both our purveyor and produce as well. So, but we got to stay on top of it pretty well.
Yeah. Well, that's I would think the whole thing is planning.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of planning, and then a lot of being ready for your plan not to be feasible anymore.
Let's say that it's let's say that we're in November and it's a Tuesday. What does that day look like for you?
Tuesday in November.
I'm trying to be just as generic, basic day as I can, and I'm sure that doesn't exist for you.
Yeah, it's all day. It's all day by day. I mean, it's coming in, looking at the schedule, seeing who's here. We have really good communication from the teams and from the managers and stuff that tell us, who's in town, what they're doing, if schedules change. It's a lot of communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're basically working through even for not that day, but days going forward.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah.
I would assume that's the main focus.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. I was curious about that. So football season arrives. And I know you are chef for all of Arkansas athletics. You told me how many?
13 sports.
Okay.
The way they're chopped up.
Okay.
But yeah, so football season's huge, but football season's also soccer season. It's also volleyball season.
Yeah.
It's also cross country. So it's
craziness.
A lot of moving parts. Yeah.
I would think, and I assume they all launch pretty much at the same time.
It staggers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it stagger enough?
Yeah. Sometimes they pile up on each other, but for the most part, they stagger pretty well.
I would now. Of course, you have experience in this now, and you've got a staff and everything. But I'm just curious when you've got that much kicking off and happening, because I would assume it's probably the busiest time of year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, fall. It's the start of fall is the busiest time.
Okay.
Of the year,
All right. Is that the time when it's hard to sleep?
Yeah, until everything falls into its grooves. Class schedules are always different. We always got to wait and see what those look like.
Wow.
And then training schedules and travel schedules. Everything's based off each other. So
What does your master schedule look like?
it's in pencil. Yeah. Yeah.
I would assume so.
It's a lot of pencil, a lot of erasing. But,
and intimidating.
Yeah, but again, I mean, we just my staff and the athletic staff are really good at just watching for the cues and being ready to turn.
It's amazing.
Being able to switch it up.
Yeah.
So.
I'd like to get into right now, if I can, a little bit about food sourcing.
Yeah.
And how you guys go about that.
So I work for Chartwells. Chartwells works with Food Buy. Food Buy is they manage all the sourcing and sustainability initiatives and stuff like that. So they do a really good job with that. We do work with some local farms here and there.
Nice.
A lot of the times the volume that we go through on things is kind of, we'll take a handful of things here and there, but
sure.
it's a pretty big operation.
I would think so. And I would think it's fluid.
Yes, and we have Chartwell's has a hydroponic freight farm on campus.
Whoa!
Which I'm sure I could get you a peek at that.
Yeah.
But we do some lettuce out of that we serve in the dining halls and stuff like that.
Wow.
And yeah, I think we did 700 pounds last semester when we did it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then we also have a rooftop garden on campus where we do jalapeno peppers on that we serve to the dining halls and stuff. So
nice.
So yeah, we do what we can locally and on our own, but for the most part, we rely on a company to guide us in the right direction.
So I've got to ask, are you also a farmer now? Are you tending those at all?
No, I just enjoy the fruits.
There you go, and the vegetables,
yeah,
as it were.
Exactly.
As it were. That's great. I had no idea that existed, and you guys were doing that here.
Oh yeah.
That's great. What a wonderful idea. I love it.
It's a shipping container, and it's converted to hydro setup inside.
That's great.
It's pretty neat.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, deliveries. Now I know you guys are especially with Chartwell's and the way you guys are set up. Deliveries always on time, or is there sometimes things run out and you've got to be nimble and turn on a dime? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean you can't always depend 100% on anything.
Right.
Of course we never order anything for the day of service.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. Depends. If we get a meal that was dropped on us or something didn't come in before. But
sure.
I mean, our Cisco truck just got here 30 minutes ago, and it's 1:30 right now.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad I wasn't waiting for anything on that truck. So it's just the same with everything else. You have to be
so nimble.
Plan pretty well, but also be ready for.
Gosh.
For it not to show up.
Is there a time when you've had like a something main that you had planned for the day and it didn't show up and you're thinking, okay, we got to pivot?
Yeah, numerous times. I'm kind of blessed on this campus because we have some very large dining facilities on campus.
Sure.
So a lot of times I can find something through them if I need to.
Excellent.
But yes, it does happen.
That's a great backup to have.
Oh yes.
Unbelievable. I'm assuming that previous to the University of Arkansas, that was not something you had as far as backup was concerned?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, when I was at Arkansas Tech, if we forgot something, I was driving to Little Rock.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so that was the closest Sam's Club.
Ooh. Okay, so...
Yeah, so we like it.
Yeah, I would assume. So tell me what it's like working the feed line when it is noon or 6 o'clock or whenever the biggest traffic is.
It can be kind of stressful.
Yeah.
Like I said, the eating habits change sometimes, so it's you'll serve something one meal that gets destroyed, then the next meal they switch to something else. So you're always watching, kind of keeping an eye on it and seeing if you have to produce more, or you definitely don't want to run out. We don't run out. That's like a big deal. So,
okay.
So just being vigilant, don't overproduce, but don't run out. It's.
Oh, that's a tough line to walk, man.
It is, but you get good at it after a while.
Oh my gosh. So, what does the path look like to feeding the athletes? Do you start with the nutritionists and get their input, and then order from there? What does it look like?
So I make the menus and then review them with the dietitians, and then just kind of regroup as we need to, adjust as we need to. With all the sports that we serve, there's a lot of different nutritional directions that people go in.
Yeah.
So, our main goal in here is to have that spectrum covered to where, each person has what they're looking for based on their needs.
Yeah.
So, and we meet regularly and go over things and see if we need to add more of something or less of something. So, a lot of communication.
How do you pull that off with not a whole lot of storage?
Yeah. Planning.
Okay. I guess clearly. I've talked with chefs before, and they small kitchens, and they they've got to really. There's some that don't even have freezers. They're that fresh.
Yeah.
And they got to turn it around really quickly. And if something like that, something becomes unavailable very quickly, They got to turn too because there's nowhere to store, and they've got to get something in there quick.
Yeah, sometimes you can only fit so much, in there, so it gets challenging.
I would assume it's kind of like a Tetris, right?
Yes.
Yeah, completely. So, as far as football is concerned, what seems, in your estimation, to be their favorite meal?
I would say in here.
And here they do breakfast and lunch, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so for breakfast.
So yeah, I would say for breakfast probably we have an eggs and omelet made to order station.
Nice.
That one gets hit pretty hard, and I think that's a good station because you can kind of hit all of your nutritional goals. You can hit just about everything with an omelet if you put the right stuff in it. So
for sure.
That's a pretty popular one. Second, I would say probably Pancake Bar, which is just the other side of the nutritional spectrum.
That's a good way to put it. That's a very nice way to put it, of course.
Yeah, right.
So what about their lunch, do you think?
I'd say wings is. We have a wing bar.
Okay.
I'd say wings is a pretty popular one.
Okay. Is it? And I've got to get into wing talk here for a second. Breaded or bare or both?
Ooh, we do bare.
Okay.
But we do some dry rub. We do some white sauces. We switch it up quite a bit.
Ooh.
I think we do about 6 flavors whenever we do them.
Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah. Dry rub's the way to go.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those myself.
Me too.
So, just in speaking of getting everything ready, I know you've got to have a gigantic team. How deep are you guys as far as having your team? I guess.
So we have some. Myself, I'm the executive chef. I'm also the director.
Okay.
So I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff as far as billing and payroll and all that stuff too. But I have a very strong sous chef that I've had for a couple of years now.
Awesome.
And 2 culinary supervisors and about 20 associates, so about 25 people.
Do you still get in and cook much?
Not as much as I'd like to, or as much as I used to, but I have a good team. I have it
That's
covered.
great.
So
that's great. Do you ever get the itch and just grab a pan and say, "Move over"?
Here and there.
Yeah.
Here
Good for
and
you.
there. Yeah.
Got to keep sharp on it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Got to get the cravings going. Yeah, for sure. So I assume that, and I don't know if it's in this station or elsewhere, but I assume all the athletes have food around the clock that they can get.
Yeah, so we have them in this facility. We have them covered from 7 a.m. until about 7:30 p.m.
Yep.
But then in their team stations, they have team areas. They have snack stations and stuff like that, and other dining arrangements. But yeah, they're pretty covered.
They need to know that when they're in their 50s, snack stations are not a good thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Living proof right here.
Same.
Yeah. Chef Tim, I appreciate your time. I know you're up against it, and you're real gracious to do this, and I thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. We
Yes,
got Brooks Gillerlain coming up next. She's the team nutritionist for Arkansas football, and that's next right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Connect with us at Flavors of Northwest Arkansas on Facebook and Instagram, or by email at flavorsofnwa@gmail.com.
Your story doesn't have to end. As an organ donor, the good in you can live on. In fact, you can save up to 8 lives through organ donation. Sign up to give the gift of life after you're gone. You'll be happy you did. Just maybe, someone else will too. Sign up online today as an organ, eye, and tissue donor at organdonor.gov. It saves lives.
And welcome back. We are at the Fred W. Smith Football Center here on the campus of the University of Arkansas. And I am here with Director of Nutrition for the football team, the University of Arkansas football team, Brooks Gillerlain. Thanks for your time. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. I appreciate your time. Listen, I know this is probably not the right time. Maybe we'll try in the off season at some point again, right?
Yes.
Does that work better for you? It probably does. So let's just jump right into it. In preparations of the football season, once the summer hits, where do you find yourself? What are you guys doing as far like end of May?
Yeah, so the guys have a good amount of time off in May, and so that's kind of to revamp, to go home and see family, things like that. So June and July, we actually do a lot of individualized counseling, things like that, because that is their last kind of opportunity to really, hone in on body composition, weight changes, things like that, and performance goals. Because when we go into season, we want to go in at their best and peak, right? And so we don't want to make a ton of changes once season rolls around. We're really trying to maintain and fine tune those things and work on recovery. So a lot of June and July is a lot of that as well. And then football camp is a beast. And so I do start planning at the end of June, just because of how our logistics are here.
Sure.
And to make sure that we're all set and ready to go by the time report day comes around.
Yeah, you don't have summers off.
Not really, no. June is a pretty big month for college football right now. So we still have official visits on the weekends. We do youth football camps all throughout June. So June is probably the busiest in the summer, and then it does taper down a bit in July. But it is, it's pretty big. May is the lighter month for us.
May is the vacation month then?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when everyone gets out. So tell me what meal planning is like, especially kind of late summer, mid to late summer. There's still some kind of roster instability. You don't know what all or who all's coming in. You don't know necessarily who you're planning for. And I'll quit knocking into things here. Sorry, go ahead.
For planning for camp, it's really about our schedule. And I'm fortunate this is my third season going in with Arkansas. And so I kind of know what Coach Pittman and our chief of staff are going to plan and put out. So I can now kind of pre-plan, if that makes sense, before that final schedule comes out. And so, when we're planning meals, we want to always make sure there's something always on the line that the guys want. And so, our team, we try and always have around 2 to 3 proteins on the line, 2 to 3 carbs, and at least something green or a vegetable too as well. And then we are really fortunate, our Jones Nutrition Center actually comes and gives a salad bar to us too. So during lunches. So we have full salad bar, tons of fruit, and then there's also deli meat and bread. So that way, again, at meal, that post-practice meal, there's always something. If you don't want something on the line, you can make yourself a sandwich, PB&J, a yogurt parfait, things like that so that way when their appetite comes back, they can eat a bigger meal too. So that's kind of the big one as well, especially on the days we do have a few days during camp that they lift after in the afternoon and then have practice in the morning. And so on those days, we do try and do really heavy meals. So, for example, like we might have Italian that day for dinner.
Oh, there you go.
Because they have burned so much practice and lifts that we're trying to get in a lot of calories, a lot of hydration and opportunities to eat. So those are kind of those more popular meals and like heavier meals. That's kind of, I try and strategically place them around our heavier training days.
So, and this is for dumb me, for different positions, people in different positions, you kind of have to plan different meal plans for them, I would assume.
Yep. So, whenever I'm planning our menu, there's always going to be a leaner option and a heavier option. Okay. So, a perfect example is mac and cheese and white rice. So there's always going to be like a lighter, cooked, less oil, less fat carbohydrate option. And then same thing with a higher fat, higher calorie dense option for carbs, and same with protein. Like I always tell the guys, there's always chicken on our line. There's very rarely there's not chicken. It's going to be turkey, so that way they have a lean option. I try and throw in seafood as much as I can, just because they're great nutrients. A lot of our guys do like seafood, and so we try and give them a variety because food fatigue is real, especially in camp. So I try and make sure our menus are diverse enough, and they don't have broccoli 4 days in a row or 4 meals in a row, for example. So that way they are able to eat and not get tired of the food as much too.
So I would think the menus change a little bit as far as nutrition's concerned from camp to like into the season.
A little bit, not actually as much as you would think. Okay. So normally I kind of, again, it's similar things where, our heavier days, or we do go heavier at the beginning of the week for practice. And so those are going to be our heavier dinners, where we might have a little bit lighter once we go at the end of the week. And that's just based off of, knowing our team's preferences and things like that. But it's kind of a very similar to that on camp when we have our lift days and practice days. I have a heavier meal at least once or twice, where that's how it is for in season as well.
I've always been curious what happens when teams take to the road during the season and how they get fed there.
Yeah, so we have the same menu every weekend, home or away. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't change. It's obviously just different prep styles, right? And so, you know, we are really fortunate. We have our home hotel. We have a caterer come in, and they are amazing. Our guys crush home food. When we're away, it's pretty hit or miss. And so, you know, everyone has their own rendition of mac and cheese, for example, or what blackened chicken looks like. And so, you know, luckily our team's pretty good, and they can find something. I do travel on the road with a few things, just more for pregame meal, that if they really aren't able to eat, like we're finding something that they can get on their stomach before we get to the stadium. But normally within, like, we eat a lot. So we have Friday night dinner, we have a nighttime snack, that's pretty much a second meal. And then depending on the kickoff time, breakfast and pregame meal. So, you know, they are normally able to find something to get on their system that they can like, even if we're at a hotel that they don't like the food.
So the game is your rest time, basically. That's when you finally can take a breath.
Yeah, it's a lot of I feel like touch and go, where we're like rushing to do something, and then it's sit and wait too. So yeah, I mean, my biggest goal is preparing them as much as I can so that on game day I'm not really needed. Same thing at practice. I'm at practice, but my goal, I always tell them, is like, you shouldn't really need me. That's the goal is that you are knowledgeable enough, you've learned enough about yourself and your body that you might only need me a couple times and you're just having an off day, but you've learned like what you need to do to hydrate, what you need to do to eat, so that you can make it through a practice performing at your highest level. And that's kind of how the game goes as well.
It's been kind of somewhat of a mild summer, except for a week or two ago, and now it's starting to ramp up to get hot again. Tell me about that hydration part you were talking about.
Yeah, we were very fortunate it's ramping up, because it was pretty that heat dome was hitting us right before we hit camp. We are lucky that we do outside conditioning too, so they get the summer to kind of acclimatize, so that way they're not in pads or anything like that. They're just in shorts and a t-shirt, but they are in the heat, and so it's not like we're just all of a sudden hitting them all of a sudden in camp. And so I use the summer a lot as to test different things. And so we have some certain guys that are on hydration plans that get things in meetings that might be really high electrolyte loads, or that I help push things during practice or during runs. And then during camp, we do have half times built into our camp where they get a 5-minute break in the middle. And so for some of those guys, that's when we're really pushing the pickle juice, the extra electrolytes, the extra fluid, when they can drink and have a catch their breath moment.
Okay.
And then some guys, it's really just replenishing. So they're fine during practice, but they lose a lot during practice. So then they have like a guide of like how many ounces they need to get, at every, I use it as like our schedule. So at the meeting, they need to drink this many ounces. At this break, they need to drink this many ounces. So that way they're able to get back up in their weight, and then making sure they're hydrating adequately.
Boy, you got to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
She's like, at least, right? So I have to bring this up because we were all in college once. We were all kids. Sweets.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, because I know there are people with sweet tooths, and they'll kind of curtail around and get their gas station candy or whatever it is, and that can be an issue sometimes. Tell me about that.
Well, I'll say, so camp is probably their favorite time of year with my snack selection. So that is the time where I kind of let them go a little crazy. So we do have, at nighttime snack, we've got honey buns and cookies and hot fries and hot Funyuns. And, no one's touched my Simply Mix or my popcorners this year that I got, but we're constantly replenishing the oatmeal cream pies, honey puns. I mean, they run off the field or from meetings to get to that cart. So that is like their kind of treat during camp. Okay. But then during season, we kind of do throw some in every once in a while. Like, for example, on Saturday after our scrimmage, we're going to have ice cream out from a local place. And then, sometimes when we cater that we know, like they have like Walk-Ons does a really great bread pudding. So we'll have that with ice cream for them. So we throw it in there every once in a while.
And I just thought of this. There's a watermelon day. The guys from Hope, Arkansas, bring the watermelon. Tell me, that's coming up, right?
Yep, it'll be our last scrimmage day.
Okay, the last scrimmage day. That's right.
Yeah, they go crazy. We have watermelon every day at practice. But then, that day he pulls up his big truck, sets up all the tables, has salt for them, and they'll come right off the field and have it. So
stories of big eaters.
Yeah.
I know we were talking earlier, and I mentioned 7'4", 520-pound Andre the Giant sat down and had 12 steaks and 15 lobsters. Not to mention his tolerance for beer, but we won't get into that. Big eaters that you can think of.
Oh, I'll be honest. Our team definitely struggles to eat. We aren't a huge eating team.
Okay.
our guys love food. No, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Some of our position groups more than others, but
nobody wants to make themselves miserable. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. But we do have a couple guys that, our home hotel does a great job with their steaks, for example. And so, we have one guy that when he's really feeling it, he'll do 5 steaks at dinner, and his stomach is still fine, luckily. And then I've had players. He's not in our team anymore, but last year he just knew he had to eat a lot, and so it was really cool. He was just an older guy to really see him come in. He was a transfer, and to kind of just tell me, he's like, no, Miss Brooks, I know I need to eat a lot, and so I have to eat this meal and then this meal. And it was really cool to watch him really take that ownership. And I didn't have to push it as much.
A little discipline.
Too. So we that's probably the easiest story I could think of is the steaks at Friday night meal.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. Nothing. That's a week worth of food, really, honestly, for us mere mortals over here. Odd combinations that people on the team like.
Yeah. Salmon with ketchup or hot sauce is still probably my top.
I think hot sauce I can kind of see, but I can't see ketchup.
Yeah, it's it's some guys just really like that one.
I'm assuming it's like baked salmon, maybe.
Yeah. It's pan roasted or oven roasted baked salmon. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a shiver down the spine right there. Weight loss and or gain stories, success stories.
Yeah.
From there, I'm sure you've seen a lot.
I'm not going to hit on a weight loss one because I have the really big one. Cam's going to be on here too. He and I worked really closely after his surgery, and it was his biggest goal is actually maintaining.
Okay.
So when you get a surgery and you have some immobilization, the biggest thing is you want to maintain your weight.
Sure.
Normally, whenever you're losing weight during that period, it means you're losing muscle. So our really big emphasis was focusing on a lot of whole foods, a lot of nutrients getting in through his diet, and making sure he was maintaining that weight. And so I joke with him, chia seeds was a new thing that we tried. Because of he has a certain allergy, and so it's the way how he gets his omega-3s, and so he adds chia seeds and flaxseed to his oatmeal.
Okay.
And loves it. He's never had that before, and so he's been really open to trying new things and making his diet really diverse and getting that weight maintenance. He did a great job of doing that and getting all his nutrition in, and it's definitely made a difference of how he came back post-injury as well. And then weight gain, I know Coach Souders talked about this on his press release before camp, is that our defensive backs have done really well. Okay. It's hard because you want to make them eat nutritious food, but sometimes they don't want to do that. So my biggest goal, my first priority is getting them calories. And so meeting them where they're at, yes, if we can be like Cam and, have all the nutrients we need and things like that, that's awesome. But sometimes that's not what they want to eat. Right. And so if it's got to be some fried food in there, it's got to be some fried food. But, that position group, honestly, as a whole, has done really well of just being on it. Some of them have reminders on their phones that I've set up to make sure, every 3 hours they're eating something.
You set up alarms on phones?
I do. Wow. So I have access to their, we use Teamworks, and so their calendar. And so some of our guys that really need that little extra reminder, I will go in and I'll say, it's time for breakfast, and they'll get an alert or a text message on their phone.
That's awesome. Technology, everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So what is this team's favorite meal?
Favorite meal? I would say a catered meal is probably Wright's Barbecue. They crush. They crush a lot of our caterers, I will say. But Wright's Barbecue is probably their biggest. And then a close at the Nutrition Center when we're not having catered is probably Wing Day. And I'm sure Chef Tim will hit on that. They will crush some wings over there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. That's great. I understand there is a bit of a hot sauce loyalty between brands on this team.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so every preseason, and then mostly sometimes in season 2, we'll stock up on a bunch of sauces just because we eat a lot upstairs. And so, we have Texas Pete, we've got Red Hot, we have Tabasco.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. There's one more, Louisiana. Yeah, and so we got to make sure we have all 4 because certain guys are really particular. They will only do Louisiana, or some will only do Tabasco. And then Cholula is a random one that kind of gets thrown in there too.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. Very quirky these things can turn into situations. Brooks, has been fun. Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate
Thanks for
your
having
time.
me.
I understand, as you said earlier, coming up next, we've got a barbecue guy.
Yeah.
Who also happens to be a pretty big defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Who also, I guess, likes chia seeds now.
Yes, he's awesome. And
He's great.
I knew he'd be great for you guys.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, great. We talked to Cam Ball. That's next, right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/act now.
Welcome back. We are with Arkansas football team pitmaster and defensive lineman Cam Ball. Cam, how are you?
Good, man. How about yourself?
I'm great. I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man.
Yes, sir.
So I want to kick it off with how you got into barbecue.
Okay.
What led you in that path?
Man, just growing up with my dad, he was a barbecue caterer. I used to tag along with him every now and then to some of his little gigs. He'll pay me $20 or so to help him load and unload his grills on his truck. And, just my curiosity grew even more when I started to grow up and tagging along with him in his events as well. And I started from me loading the grills to want to know the amount of charcoal to put in the grill, to how to season the meat, how to cook the meat. And, I love to eat. So I fell in love with it, just grilling on my own. And being off in college, I got tired of eating out every day. So I wanted to experiment with that.
How's it been?
It's been good, man.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I'm here talking to you today about it is because it's been going in the right direction, man. And I'm so happy for it. And I'm so glad for it. But it all started because of my father.
So you see a lot of pitmasters nowadays, and a lot of them have their thing. They've got their specialty.
Yeah.
What's your specialty?
Ribs.
Okay. All right.
Those
Baby
are my
backs,
specialty.
big. What do you?
Baby back, St. Louis style cut.
Spare ribs.
Spare ribs, man, you name it. My dad used to cook country backbone, so I can dip and dab with that as well. But my main specialty is ribs.
Yeah. Do you are you a rub or a sauce guy or both?
I can do both.
Okay.
I was always taught that good barbecue don't need barbecue sauce, but
Well done, sir.
In some instances, it's okay to add like a little sauce for the glaze, So I'm open for both, but my preference, I prefer dry rub.
Yeah, I'm with you. And do you prefer, when you're putting it together, do you prefer the baby backs? Do you prefer the spare ribs? I know for me individually, it's the baby backs because it's just easier for me to handle, and I got a small grill.
Oh, man. I'll say baby backs for sure because, those little, rib bones, they do pack a lot of meat.
Yeah, they do.
It doesn't take that long as spare ribs to cook. So I would say baby back, but spare ribs, it's a bigger bone, and sometimes spare ribs does have a lot of meat on them as well. So if I had to pick one, baby back, but
I'm with you.
I grew up off of spare ribs. So
I'm with you. I'm kind of the same way, actually, believe it or not. Tell me a little bit, is this something that you do in the off season solely, or are you able to do it some during the season?
So I started doing it during the season.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to shift it to doing it in the off season. And I had the intentions and plans of going crazy this past off season and taking off. But, unfortunately, I lost my father like 2 months ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
So that kind of affected everything that I was going to have going. But whenever I do pick it back up, I got so much hype built up around it now that I know that whenever I do it, it's going to take off.
It's going to blow up.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly it. So are you interested in getting into like barbecue competitions?
So my favorite show to watch in my spare time is BBQ Pitmasters.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
I would have to have a little more experience and probably have like a go-to like sous chef or someone to help me, get further down in that field. But that's something I do want to do just because I'm a competitor. And, I'm a competitor. I love to eat and I love to barbecue. So those three things right there fit the category of me, and it also fit the category of all the competitions.
So you do a little catering along the way, too. Tell me about that.
From time to time, I'll have either a guy or, let's say a couple weeks ago, we had the team captains like dinner for the summer lift group, and our strength staff coach Coach Souders, he gave me like 300 pieces of chicken and asked if I can, prepare it for the guys. And I did that. I normally would use my smoker, but my smoker was giving me a rough day, so I had to go old school and put it on the charcoal grills, man.
Yeah, man.
Every now and then, I'll have a gig or an event where I have to cook for somebody, and sometimes I'll do it for free. Sometimes I'll just charge just a little
bit.
A
little bit, absolutely. So is this something that after your playing days, maybe you'd want to go to like a culinary school or something like that?
So I took a couple courses here at the U of A in the time of getting my degree. My minor is in food science. So that's something I could, pursue. I want to say the name of the culinary school up here was like NWAC or something like that.
It's Brightwater, yeah. Brightwater at NWAC.
Yeah. So I did look into that as well. But culinary school, I don't know. That's something I could be open to, though.
Yeah, it's obviously a little bit different than being a pitmaster, but they can also play hand in hand, too, for sure.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah, there you go. So is this something where down the line you think you may want to own your own barbecue place?
I talked about so I have the name of my company is Ball's Barbecue.
Oh.
It was my dad's. He had the name Ball's Barbecue, but he never got it like officially licensed.
Okay.
So that's what I want to pursue after my playing career or even during my playing career. And it built so much hype that Coach Pitt was talking about investing in the barbecue business as well. So I'm going to hold him to it.
Coach Pitt's no stranger to barbecue now.
Oh, yeah. I already know.
Yeah, you know that.
Yes, sir.
Rapid fire questions. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Favorite vegetable to make?
Lima beans.
Oh, favorite dessert?
Red velvet cake without nuts because I'm allergic to nuts.
Oh, okay. Good note. Good note. Favorite Gatorade flavor?
Blue, especially when it's cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's up there. Favorite sandwich?
Favorite sandwich? Oh, fried bologna with cheese.
Oh, I bet everybody loves to hear that.
Get all stuck in your teeth, and that's the good stuff.
What do you put in your baked potato?
In my baked potato, I put sour cream, bacon, chives, and cheese.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
All of it?
Loaded.
Okay. Charcoal or gas? That's a dumb question, but please answer.
Charcoal.
I know.
That's the real man's way to barbecue. That should be the only way.
Okay. And tell me, favorite thing to make in an air fryer?
My favorite thing to make in an air fryer. If I'm feeling lazy and I want to make like some quick chicken wings, I'll just season them both sides and just throw them in there, 375 for like 30 minutes, flip them halfway in between, and then take them out. If it's not all the way done or how I want it to be, I prop them back in for like 7 more minutes, and they're good to go.
Nice. What seasoning?
Seasoning, mainly just salt, pepper, Lowry's, all-purpose seasoning.
Sure.
Garlic powder, onion powder, and a meat tenderizer.
Oh, look at you. All right on. And finally, last question. What goes on your burger?
What goes on my burger? Let's see. Lettuce, tomato. I'm not a big ketchup guy. So mayonnaise. It depends where I'm at. Sometimes I would like avocado on my burger if I want to be on the healthy side. Sometimes I like a fried egg on my burger. Gotta throw some onions on there. Gotta throw some pickles. Like the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Everything but ketchup. I'm just not a big ketchup guy.
I understand that. Onions raw or grilled?
Grilled.
Yeah.
Oh, grilled.
Yeah,
Especially like if I'm grilling like a turkey burger with some onions, throw that on top, man, you got something going in.
You nailed it, man. Well done, sir. I appreciate your time.
Man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Have a very healthy season.
Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. That's going to do it for us here. Remember, please tip your servers, and we'll catch up with you next week. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.